You've successfully lost weight before, maybe even a couple times, but every single time the weight comes back, and sometimes you gain even more weight than what you started with. Today, we're talking about why weight regain happens, and most importantly, how to fix it so you can keep your results for the rest of your life. Welcome to the Fit and Fulfilled Show. If you're a busy professional woman who wants to finally prioritize your health and happiness, this is the place to be. I'm your host, Soraya Russell, certified macronutrition coach, mindset coach, and lifestyle transformation coach. And each week, I share practical strategies to help you build sustainable habits, boost your energy, become obsessed with what you see when you look in the mirror, and feel confident and strong in your body, all without feeling stressed, burned out, or guilty. Let's dive in. So I think a lot of people can relate to this episode because even me personally, the first time I tried to lose weight, I stayed consistent with a low carb, low calorie diet for maybe a week. I binged, gained all the way back, and it's a frustrating cycle, whether it's the same diets you're doing over and over again that don't work, or whether you hop from one thing to another, but it's the same process of regaining the weight. So this episode is really great because I'm going to teach you exactly why things haven't worked for you and the changes you need to make to really fix it. So the first thing that I've seen with the data is that 80 to 95% of dieters regain the weight within 2 to 5 years. This is not an issue of motivation or willpower. It's really a systems issue because the diet industry actually profits off of you regaining weight. Think about it. If you lost weight with Weight Watchers, for example, and kept it off forever, they'd stop making money off of you. Same thing with many of these other programs. They profit off of you getting results, using your transformation photo for their websites, you regaining the weight, and then coming back and paying them. So we got to figure out how to outsmart the system and find the right processes for us to actually keep this weight off long term. So the first reason you're probably regaining weight after losing it is that you're eating too few calories. You're basically starving yourself to weight loss. And the reason this does not work long term is because scientifically, when you eat a very few amount of calories, you're basically slowing down your metabolism. So what happens is when you're eating your maintenance calories, the amount of calories you need to maintain your weight, your metabolism is operating at a pretty healthy level. Anytime you eat below that, your metabolism slightly slows down. And the less and less you eat, the more your metabolism will slow down. So if your maintenance calories are, say, 2,000 calories, right? And you're eating 1,200 calories, 1,000 calories in your calorie deficit, that's really, really low in comparison to your maintenance calories. So you probably will lose weight very rapidly. But what's going to happen is your metabolism is slowing as well. So even if you reach your weight loss goal, it's going to be very, very hard to maintain that weight. Anytime you eat even a little bit over this really low amount of calories, you're going to gain weight again really quickly because your metabolism has been tanked. And this is why starving yourself to weight loss is really not a long-term solution. Another thing that scientifically happens is when you're eating too few calories, your body goes into survival mode because you're not giving it enough to basically survive. What happens is when your body's trying to survive, it's looking for things it can hold on to make sure that it's still going to have something to provide fuel for itself. So food is one source of fuel. Another source of fuel is fat. And so what's going to happen is your body's going to try and conserve as much fat as possible on your body. And this is going to make it much easier for you to regain fat when you eat any more food. So what should you be doing instead? You want to eat in a slight, moderate calorie deficit, one that's not too restrictive and won't cause your metabolism to slow down that much. A simple way to calculate a good deficit is take your goal weight times 12. Say your goal weight is 150 pounds, 150 times 12 is 1,800 calories. This is just a rough estimate. If you want a more precise calculation, I have a free course called the Calorie Deficit Crash Course. You can grab that down below and it teaches you exactly what a calorie deficit is, how to calculate for yourself based on your height, weight, activity level. It also teaches how to calculate your protein goals. Completely free. You can grab that down below. And then what you want to do is be in that calorie deficit until you hit your goal weight. Then when you hit your goal weight, instead of staying in that calorie deficit or just going back to eating normal, you want to do something called a reverse diet. This is where you gradually increase your calories over time back to your new maintenance calories. This essentially allows you to reboost your metabolism and maintain your new goal weight while eating more food. That way, it's sustainable long term. This is something we help our clients with inside of our coaching program, increasing their calorie intake the right amount and increasing the right macros in those calories, whether it's fat, carbs, or protein. So it's a little bit more of an intricate process I recommend doing with a coach or some sort of nutrition professional. But if you're interested, then you can learn about our coaching program down below, where we do help our clients get to their goal weight and then reverse back to maintenance so they can maintain the results for the rest of their life. The second reason you regain weight, which is a very common one, is that you don't have a healthy relationship with food. For example, you label some foods as good and some as bad. You might see vegetables as good foods and you might see fruits as good foods. You might see pizza as bad, cupcakes, pasta, any types of carbs as bad, when really fruits and vegetables are also carbs as well. So the issue with this is that if you don't have a healthy relationship with food, that typically manifests in a way that on your weight loss journey, you're cutting out those foods, you're restricting those foods that you actually like, the bad foods. And so what happens is at some point you feel very deprived, you have cravings, and so you then binge on those quote unquote bad foods. You feel bad about yourself and you go right back to your old habits. You don't know how to strike that healthy balance of including the foods that you enjoy in the right portions, while also having a lot of whole foods that you're eating as well. So a couple things you want to do to change this is number one, have neutral language when talking about food. So if you ate pizza today, don't say, I ate bad today. Say, I ate pizza. If you ate more calories today because maybe you went to Chick-fil-A and ordered a chicken sandwich, fries, and a soda, don't say, oh, I feel so disgusted. I like stuffed myself. I'm such a fatty. Say, I ate more calories than usual today. Make your language factual, neutral, not positive or negative. And this will help you make more intuitive decisions with food because you don't feel ashamed for eating certain things versus others. And that'll help you make better decisions and enjoy things in moderation. Another thing you want to do is include the food that you like on your weight loss journey. Don't cut out the wine, the pasta, the pizza if you enjoy those things. Have them, but in moderation. Something else a lot of our clients do is if they really enjoy pizza or pasta dishes, right? They might have a pasta dish for dinner throughout the week, but maybe they'll have whole wheat pasta, a high protein pasta. They'll have a chicken pasta dish where they have a good amount of protein, pasta, and vegetables. So they're eating something that they enjoy, but balancing it out with a lot more whole food as well, so that they are both satisfied and comfortably full. This allows you to get the best of both worlds because if you eat a lot of whole foods, you're going to be full. It's very hard to be hungry if you're eating mostly whole foods because they're so filling, even though they're low calorie. However, if you eat a bunch of whole foods, but you also really enjoy other things like sweets, burgers, fries, or whatever, you won't be hungry, but you might still want some other things. So when you tie the two together of eating about 80% whole foods, so you're full, with 20% fun foods that you enjoy, whether it's the evening small piece of chocolate or the cookie or whatever it is, and you marry those two together, you will now be comfortably full and satisfied. And that allows you to stay consistent with weight loss because you don't feel starved and you don't feel deprived. So, for example, one of our clients, she came to us last year, and what happened was she had tried so many different weight loss challenges, diets, programs, trainers, all these different things. She did not have a problem losing weight. She lost 20 pounds like 3 different times. But the issue was she'd always end up gaining it back because everything she tried was restrictive in some way, shape, or form. She couldn't have dessert. She couldn't have carbs. She couldn't eat after 8 p.m. And so she was so frustrated because she was like, I've seen my body at its peak. I've seen it in great shape, but I can't maintain it. So she came to us because our program is really more about sustainability, all foods fit, all that good stuff. So when she started working with us, we said, okay, your favorite food is chocolate. You're going to have a piece of chocolate every single day. She was like shocked. She was like, oh my gosh, this is a little scary for me. I feel like chocolate makes me fat. But she did it. And actually, fun fact, dark chocolate has a lot of nutrition benefits. A lot of people don't realize that. So every day she had a piece of chocolate, as well as having her mainly whole food meals. She lost 15 pounds in 12 weeks, right? In her 50s, by the way. And she's maintained it since. She finished our program in January this year. She's maintained it since. And you know why? It's because she's still eating the things that she enjoys. We taught her how to eat out with her friends, go on vacation, and still find a way to eat meals that are balanced and include things that she enjoys. So because of the lifestyle changes that she made, she doesn't feel like and isn't on a diet. She is living a new lifestyle. And when you can learn how to live a lifestyle that allows you to have that food flexibility and food freedom, You maintain your results because it doesn't feel like you're restricting yourself or like you're on some sort of crazy diet. The third reason that you can't keep the weight off is because you learned how to lose weight, but you never learned maintenance. Most weight loss programs and diets teach you how to lose weight, but they don't teach you how to maintain it. And maintenance is a completely different skill than weight loss. For example, to lose weight, you simply need to be in a calorie deficit. But what a lot of women do is they'll be in a deficit, they'll hit their goal weight or hit some sort of goal, and then they'll just stay in that deficit, which damages their metabolism, or they'll go back to eating like normal. The key is, in order for you to maintain your weight, scientifically, you want to do a reverse diet, which is basically when you slowly increase your calories over time to your new maintenance calories for your current weight. That's your goal weight, basically. On top of that, you need to make sure that you're working on your relationship with food. That way, when you achieve your goal weight, you don't just go back to eating the way you did before. You have new healthy habits when it comes to food. Most people don't work on that while they're losing weight. They're just trying to lose it fast. And so when they do get there, their bad relationship with food resurfaces and they just go back to their normal habits. So maintenance is something that we teach inside of our program because without it, you will continue this start-stop cycle of losing weight and then regaining it. The next reason that you keep regaining weight is because you have all or nothing thinking, especially when it comes to weight loss. This means in your mind, you're either on a diet, on track, or you're off the diet, off track. There's no healthy balance, healthy medium. So, for example, when you're at home, it's a normal schedule, 9 to 5, you're at work, you come home, you're on top of it. You're eating your foods, you are doing your exercises. But then on the weekends, you're completely off track. Or when you go on vacation, you're completely off track. And so when you come back from those things, it's harder to get back into structure. So you don't know how to have balance through the weekends, through holidays, through vacations. It's either you're on top of things because you're in an environment that you can control, or you're not on top of things because you're in an environment where you don't feel like you have control. So what to do to correct this is practice imperfect consistency. What this means is, and also another way to describe it is having basically the minimum viable habit. So say that one week you plan to get 3 workouts in and you miss one workout. The minimum viable habit maybe is doing 2 workouts a week. So now instead of 3, you've done 2. You hit that minimum viable habit, so it's okay that you didn't hit 3. It's fine. Say that your minimum viable habit is having uh, a source of protein with every meal. So say one meal you ate at KFC, right? Maybe that's not the most ideal place to have your meal. But guess what? You had chicken with your meal. Protein, right? So that's meeting the minimum viable habit. So basically have the minimums for yourself to hit so that even if you don't do things perfectly, which is not normal, you have a minimum standard for yourself. So you know, okay, I hit the minimum standard, I'm still winning. But when you hold yourself to this perfect standard of 3 workouts every single week, eating clean every single day, that's not going to happen all the time. And so when it doesn't, you feel like you failed because you didn't hit this super high standard. But when we have a minimum standard, we still feel like we're winning because we're doing something right. On top of that, you want to implement the 24-hour reset rule, which means that many women, when they fall off track or slip up, they are like, well, I'll just wait till Monday to get back on track. So say maybe Thursday, you plan to eat at home, but you went out with coworkers and had pizza and wine. You feel bad about yourself. You're like, I'm going to restart on Monday. You're psychologically telling yourself that you have to wait till a whole nother week to get back into your habits. That's not true. You can get back on track the next day. So rewire your brain to say, hey, 24 hours, I'm going to reset. So tomorrow, I'm going to eat my meal prep food. I'm going to do my workouts. So instead of waiting till Monday, which is 4 days of you just kind of going off the rails, you just did it the next day, and now you're back on track for those next 3 to 4 days. The fifth reason you keep regaining weight is because the methods that you use are not sustainable. For example, if you did some sort of workout program where you were lifting weights, doing a bunch of workouts 7 days a week, most busy professional women I talk to cannot keep that up for a long period of time. And so while you might get great results or you might feel good for a week or two after that, you're like, man, this is a lot. I can't keep up with this. So because of that, you tend to go from 0 or 100 to 0 real quick. And you go from doing everything to doing nothing. Instead, why don't we focus on doing 2 to 3 to 4 workouts a week, 45 minutes? We can do that at home or at the gym so it's time efficient. That's more realistic for real life. Instead of trying to run 3 miles every single day, walk 5 to 7,000 steps every single day. You can split it up. When you're not in a great mood, it's good for your mental health as well. There's so many ways to implement exercise and nutrition in a way that are sustainable versus restrictive. And sometimes I think our belief is if it's not super hard, if it's not super intense, it's not working. That's not true. The best types of workouts I found for weight loss are a bit more gentle on your joints, and that way they don't stress your body out. So, walking, lifting weights where you're challenging yourself, but you're not lifting so much weight where you're hurting every single day. Meal planning and meal prepping, but in a way that works for you. You don't have to eat the same thing for 7 days if you don't want to. Switch it up every couple of days. Eat a different thing every day if you want to. Our clients have those options, but there's so many ways to make weight loss work for you that's sustainable, and that doesn't look the same for every single woman. We have some clients who meal prep for the whole week. We have some clients who cook fresh every single day because they're feeding a family. We have some clients who make new meals every couple of days. So you have to decide what's going to be the most sustainable method for you. And if you're not sure, work with someone who can help you figure that out and piece things together for you. But if you know what you've done in the past hasn't been sustainable, we don't need just another diet or another workout program. We need a more sustainable approach. The sixth reason you keep regaining weight is you didn't focus on stress or sleep management. This is a big part of the formula a lot of people miss. If you're just focusing on eating and exercising, you might be missing the real key that's going to help you achieve the body composition that you want. So when you're not getting enough sleep, that is going to lead to stress in your body because a lack of sleep puts your body in fight or flight mode. And so with that, you're going to experience an increase in cortisol levels. Increased cortisol level fundamentally makes weight loss and fat loss a lot harder because your body's trying to fight or flight versus actually relaxing so it can release that extra fat. On top of that, if you're not getting enough sleep, you're probably up later, which means you want to eat more food, even though you don't need to eat more food. And so it's going to increase your hunger hormones, which might involve you snacking more late. And you might not think it's a big deal, but some small snacks can easily add up to 500 calories if you're not aware. Another thing is stress management. So a lot of our clients work busy jobs. They are in leadership. They are in positions of power. And so with that, they're making a lot of decisions. Sometimes they're very stressed out, but they don't have stress management protocols to kind of de-stress after a long day. So what we'll do with our clients is, for example, we'll figure out, okay, what's going to be your way to de-stress when things have been really hard that day? Maybe they'll go for a 5 to 10 minute walk, no phone. Or maybe they'll go for a walk and call a loved one that they can talk to. Maybe they'll journal. Maybe they'll read the Bible. But we have something in place to help them de-stress before they move on to the next thing. That allows their body and brain to calm down so that they can release that extra weight. So don't just build exercise and nutrition habits. Build a system to optimize your sleep and your stress management as well. The seventh reason you keep regaining the weight is because you did it on your own with no support. So if you are just doing these random diets or challenges you see on social media that don't have any support at all, maybe it's just a Facebook group or something, or just some PDFs, the thing is it's not personalized to you. That's the first thing. So if you're a woman over 35, if you're menopausal, you don't just want to do generic things you see online because they're not really built for you. On top of that, if you're following a generic meal plan, it's probably not personalized to how many calories and macros you need to eat to achieve your goals. The calories might be too low, they might be too high. On top of that, if you don't have the right support system, no one's there to hold you accountable or support you when things get tough, because they will. So when you have the right support, you have a personalized approach that works for you with both nutrition and fitness. You have accountability along the way to keep you focused on your goals. And in our coaching program, you also have mindset support. So we actually have our own licensed therapist within our program that helps our clients overcome self-sabotage, limiting beliefs, emotional eating, and so much more. And so when you master all those three elements, accountability, mindset, and personalized help with nutrition and fitness, reaching your weight loss goals becomes so much easier because what you're doing works, it's sustainable, and you have the accountability along the way. If you keep struggling to achieve your weight loss goals and maintain it, the missing piece might be having the right accountability and support system that's specific to you. So here are some common mistakes to avoid when trying to achieve your weight loss goals and maintain it. The first is just having the mindset that this time will just be different just because it's a different approach. You don't just need a new diet. So saying, okay, I did keto before, that didn't work, let me do paleo. You can't just say this time will be different because paleo is different than keto. They're both restrictive. And so even though they're different approaches, it's going to be the same result. So you got to think about, I don't just need a new diet, I need a new approach to weight loss. I need to do something that's not restrictive, something that's sustainable. That's what you need to be thinking about versus just this time will be different. The second mistake to avoid is not focusing on how can I lose weight fast and instead focusing on how can I lose weight in a way that I can maintain it. When you have this approach of how can I lose it in a way that I can maintain it, you actually keep your results for life. So would you rather lose 20 pounds in 2 months, but regain it by the end of the year, or lose 20 pounds in, say, 5 months, but keep it off for the rest of your life? Most women I talk to would choose the second option. And so while it's not as fun to say, yeah, I'm still on my weight loss journey 3 months later, it's very fun for every summer for you to wear your swimsuit on the beach and feel great because you're not restarting your weight loss journey every single year. The third mistake to avoid is waiting till you're absolutely miserable, hate your body, feel disgusted with yourself to get help. So sometimes I'll have clients come to me when they're at their wits' end. They're like, I literally can't stand the way I look. And they're like, yes, Soraya, I thought about joining your program or getting help last year, a couple months ago, but I thought, I just have other things going on. I'm busy. The longer you wait, the worse things get. This is what I found with women who struggle with their weight. Because if you keep waiting, you're probably not doing anything to fix it. Work is getting busy, personal life is getting busy. Maybe you're trying things here and there that don't work and are making you lose and regain the same weight. And so over time, you're going to keep gaining more weight. Your health is going to decline. Don't wait until you're desperate to get help. Be proactive versus reactive, because if you wait and you gain an extra 5, 10 pounds, that's an extra 5, 10 pounds you have to lose on top of the 20, 30 that you wanted to lose originally. So be proactive, get help now versus waiting until you are in a desperate position. Remember that if you lose weight with maintenance in mind, it's going to be much easier for you to achieve and maintain your goals for the rest of your life. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Fit and Fulfilled show today. I hope you walked away with practical strategies you can start implementing to achieve and maintain your weight loss goals and feel more fulfilled in your personal and professional life. And if you found this helpful in absolutely any way, I ask that you please subscribe and share it with a friend who you think would find it helpful so they can benefit from this information as well. And if you want to lose 20 to 50 pounds without cutting out your favorite foods, I would love to invite you to apply for our coaching program, the Fit and Fulfilled Academy. In the Academy, we provide the personalized guidance, coaching, and support to help you achieve and maintain your weight loss goals for the rest of your life. You can get all the details down below. Next week, we're diving into a brand new topic that you're not going to want to miss. But until then, remember you deserve to feel as confident in your body as you do in your career. Take care.